I don't know. I think if Iga would win me another day, I think she would go out today and she would get the win. It just, like, yeah.
I mean, I don't agree with that. I'm here sitting here, and last time I played, no, like to Iga or anything, but I played her and I won in straight sets. So, but yeah, I think regardless of who I played, I think I had a good shot to win, and I definitely had that belief. And if you ask me, like, honestly speaking to you guys, who I wanted to play, it was Iga, just because I felt Aryna was playing so good, and she was. So, but also Iga is a tough opponent too. So honestly, neither of them would have been a better shot, but it played out how it played out, and yeah, that's why I'm here today.
Aryna Sabalenka appeared to be a tempest waiting to happen when she entered the French Open final. This tour was meant to be her retaliation after losing to Madison Keys in the Australian Open final earlier this year. The opportunity to win the title, silence the skeptics, and demonstrate that Coco Gauff's ascent wasn't going unnoticed. However, none of that took place.
Yeah, honestly, guys, this one hurts so much, especially after such a tough 2 weeks playing great tennis and in these terrible conditions, show such terrible tennis in the final. That's really hurt, but it's okay. Anyway, Coco, congrats in these tough conditions. You were a better player than me. Well done on a great 2 weeks, and congrats on the second Grand Slam. Well deserved. You're a fighter, hard worker. So congrats you and your team. Thank you guys for atmosphere. I really enjoy every second out here playing in front of you all, and it was great 2 weeks. Thank you everyone who made this tournament happen. Emily, thank you for the best hospitality. You took care of us like nobody did, and I really appreciate for everything you've done for us during these 2 weeks. You're the best. Thank you. And honestly, it's such an honor staying on this stage with you. You've been an inspiration for so many players and me as well. So it's an honor staying on this stage with you. Thank you. Yeah, and thank you, my team, for your support. I'm sorry for this terrible final. Anyway, thank you, everyone. Thank you. And as always, I'll come back stronger.
Rather, Coco acted as though she were possessed. She was determined, self-assured, and totally unfazed by Sabalenka's typical intimidation tactics. In the second set, the rallies were not even close. When the game was over, Coco raised the prize. With that tight-jawed expression that every tennis fan recognizes, Sabalenka rushed off the court as the fans went crazy. The one that declares, "I'm about to break something." And it seems that she did just that. Emotionally, not literally.
You talk about the power of social media to help tell your story, but do you think at the end of the day you're still a little bit misunderstood for who you are?
No, I think nowadays people know me as a player and as a person. Like, I feel like people know that, okay, of course she's aggressive, she's passionate, she's focused, and she's fighting for her dream, but also, of course, she's fun and she's nice, she's chill, and she's a completely different person. So I think now people knows me. Maybe like that little situation after French Open, some people don't really understand the intensity of everything, and that you lose the final of the biggest tournament, and then you go to the media straight away, and you're so frustrated, so pissed on yourself, and you're just trying to figure what just happened, and you don't think clean, and then you make this comment, and people go they forget completely about who you are, the rest.
Yes, gentlemen, this one hurt so much, especially after playing excellent tennis for the past 2 weeks and then playing bad tennis in the final under these awful circumstances. That hurts a lot, but it's all right. In any case, Coco, kudos in these difficult circumstances. I was not as good of a player as you were. Well done on a fantastic 2 weeks, and congrats on your second Grand Slam. Well worth it. You labor hard and are a warrior. Congratulations to you and your group. I'm grateful for the atmosphere, guys. It was a fantastic 2 weeks, and I truly appreciate every moment I spend playing in front of you all. Thank you to everyone involved in making this tournament possible. I appreciate your wonderful hospitality, Emily. You looked after us like no one else did, and I sincerely appreciate all that you have done for us over the past 2 weeks. You are the greatest. I'm grateful. What transpired following that match wasn't pleasant, according to her longtime coach Anton Dubrov, who eventually talked about the breakdown. According to reports, Sabalenka lost it in the locker room. Shouting, pacing, and placing the blame on herself, the circumstances, the timetable, and even her energy levels. Dubrov claims that witnessing it was among the most difficult times in her career because she was well aware of what went wrong. She was unable to stop herself from spiraling, though. Let's go back a bit before discussing the leaked exchange. The staff at Sabalenka had already noticed warning indications of impending burnout. Just before the French Open, her fitness coach, Jason Stacy, had hinted months prior that she was battling fatigue and an illness. They advised her to ease down, but due of her nature, Sabalenka persisted in pushing. She detests appearing feeble. When things go wrong, she becomes self-destructive due to the same intensity that makes her deadly on the court. She therefore felt vulnerable as well as dejected after losing against Coco Gauff. This is where the leak occurs. Reporters were informed by Anton Dubrov, who has supported her for years and typically stands up for her no matter what, that what Aryna said in the gym following the final wasn't for the cameras. He claimed that she described her performance as an embarrassment to her squad as a whole. I lost control again, and I can't believe I let that version of me come back, she allegedly said to him. It tells it everything in that line. Because you understand exactly what Sabalenka means if you have followed her career. The younger Aryna was violent, yelling at umpires, shattering rackets, and picking fights with spectators. Although she has become more subdued with time, the same fury still exists beneath the surface. She falls when it comes out at the wrong moment. Dubrov claimed that while still wearing her match gear, she was sitting on the gym floor, loudly repeating points and berating herself for each wasted opportunity. She wasn't even upset with Coco Gauff, he claimed. She felt upset with herself for losing command of the situation.
And when I look at Coco, I had a chance, obviously, to go to Roland Garros. I was at the French Open. She worked so hard every single match to get to the finals. And I just love the fact that she has not only the will to win, the fight to win. What I love also is how she just takes the high road, no matter what. We all have heard the comments from Sabalenka, her negativity, talking about Coco wasn't better than her, that Coco didn't beat her, that she lost the match because of her errors. But I just want to say, when you mess with the bull, you get the horn. Sabalenka was so wrong. And what I love about Coco is that she can't say anything, but these women have come after her, whether it's been Sabalenka, Iga, Rybakina. They've made comments, even when Coco was actually number 3 in the world, they talked about them being the big 3. So every turn she has to face not just her opponent, but the ridicule from her colleagues who should be supportive. And listen, you're playing against an American who's our top American. Have some respect, one, and lose with class. And I just feel like it's not right for them to try and depict her as someone who she's only barely winning because we're not playing our best. Guess what? We all lace up, and you got to play your best. If it's a championship and we all get there, on championship day, you still got to play your best. It doesn't matter about what the stats said last week and how you got there. Show up that day and play your best. And because Sabalenka didn't play her best, she decided to take the low road and try and criticize what Coco has accomplished. But I just want Coco to know, as we all have shared and shown our love, that we in America, we support you. We're happy and we thank you the way that you carry yourself with such class and grace. And for all the other players, be careful what you say, because we're coming back after you. You don't get a chance to take down our hero. She's our hero, and we're so happy in celebrating Coco.
That's the most ironic portion of the entire narrative, so let's stop for a moment. Control is the foundation of Sabalenka's brand. Controlled dominance, controlled emotion, and controlled aggression. Nevertheless, when things start to go wrong, her rage is the one thing she can't manage. That is Aryna Sabalenka's tragedy. On her best day, she is so strong that she can destroy anyone. However, she destroys herself when the fire turns inward.
And like take it as the main thing, So after that, I also had to sit back and reflect on everything and apologize and make sure that people understand my point that it was just I was over emotional. I was completely wrong. So after that, also took me a little while to explain myself a little bit better. But now I think people understand me even better. And also it was a tough lesson, but it helped me a lot in so many different ways. And right now I don't feel like people still misunderstand me. I feel like now they know me even better.
Uttered a statement that left everyone in the room speechless. Perhaps I'm not cut out for finals. Oh no. Any elite player, especially one who has been ranked #1 in the world, would find it brutal to acknowledge that. But at that moment, she was so broken. Here's the worst part. This was not maliciously leaked by Dubrov. He claimed to have shared it since it demonstrates her increased self-awareness. That she's finally learning to take responsibility for her faults rather than placing the blame elsewhere after all the drama and criticism. Tennis fans, however, didn't see it that way. The internet went crazy after the comment made news. Some said that Dubrov had betrayed her confidence. Some thought he was just being truthful. However, the majority of people were simply astonished when he acknowledged the terrible things that happened behind the scenes. Sabalenka reportedly confided in him that her post-match remarks had embarrassed her as well. Do you recall those? She essentially claimed that she didn't lose because Coco played better, but rather because of the circumstances. She even claimed that the match would have been more difficult if Egate rather than Coco had advanced to the final.
Well, yeah, I have to say in the past 2 weeks I played really tough matches, really incredible players, and I played definitely better level than in the final. It was really, honestly, the worst tennis I played in the last, I don't know how many months, and the conditions were terrible, and she simply was better in these conditions than me, and I think it was the worst final I ever played.
Yes, it wasn't her finest moment. Social media was ignited by those remarks. She was called a disgruntled loser by others. She was referred to as unsporting by former players. Even though she eventually expressed regret, the harm had already been done.
The conditions were terrible, and she simply was better in these conditions than me. She won the match not because she played incredible, just because I made all of those mistakes from, like, if you look from the outside, kind of like from an easy balls. If Iga would win me another day, I think she would go out today and she would get the win. It just, it just hurts. Honestly, it hurts.
It therefore made some sense when Dubrov later disclosed that she took full responsibility and acknowledged feeling ashamed. She knew she had made a mistake. She became aware that she had once again let her feelings to rule her. Naturally, though, self-reflection is unimportant on the internet. All it can recall is the meltdown. And that's precisely why this disclosure is so significant. Because at last we are aware of what was going on behind closed doors. Dubrov claims that Sabalenka talked for hours that evening in the gym about how she needed to adjust a routine, control her emotions, and stop allowing pressure to make her into her worst self. The following morning, she even began reading a self-help book. It was her idea, not the team's. Dubrov claims that was the portion that really stunned him. Her coaches had to force her to take responsibility in the past. She completed it on her own this time. I know what I did wrong, she said when she arrived the following day. Let's repair it now. And that's when he recognized she was maturing, as Dubrov puts it. Nevertheless, he acknowledged that the defeat at the French Open left wounds. He claims that Aryna hasn't really moved on from it. You can clearly perceive the strain whenever she takes on Coco Gauff. During warm-ups, she doesn't say anything. She tightens her body language. It seems as though the specter of that loss is still present on the other side of the internet. Honestly, who is to blame? It sucks to lose one big final. It stings more to lose 2 straight when you were the favorite. Particularly if the second defeat is accompanied by humiliation. Because it wasn't just a loss in the French Open final. It conveyed a message. Coco Gauff did more than simply outperform Aryna. She outwitted her. She made Aryna lose patience, overhit, and break under duress. Coco took advantage of everything Sabalenka's coaches cautioned her against. And Aryna had no more justifications after that game. Sabalenka was only made worse by Coco Gauff's flawless handling of the fallout. Aryna's a great competitor, Coco added, congratulating her and thanking the fans. Every time, she challenges me to improve. Translation. Even if I defeated you fairly, I will still be kind to you. Because of this, Coco's fan base quickly expanded. People adore her because she is gifted without being conceited. And this match solidified her status as the face of women's tennis as well as the next major star. Conversely, Sabalenka had to deal with the consequences. Critics have questioned her mental game, fans have called her disrespectful, and now her own coach has revealed how terrible things became behind the scenes. After the final, Dubrov informed Tennis Channel that Aryna was unable to even look at herself in the mirror at the gym. That wasn't me out there, she continued to explain, according to him. You know, that was the old Aryna, the one who would lose control, scream at her players in the middle of a game, and allow a single incorrect mistake to spoil a whole set. This is where things start to get interesting since, according to Dubrov, she has been seeing a sports psychologist ever since that evening. Her goal was to ensure that the old Aryna would never reappear. This is how he explained it. She is learning to illuminate the path ahead by using the same fire that once burned her. It's quite poetic for a coach, isn't it? To be honest, though, it makes sense. Talent has never been Sabalenka's issue. Emotion has been involved. She is unstoppable when she channels it properly. She destroys herself when she doesn't. And it was the ideal storm in the French Open final. Fatigue, stress, sickness, and annoyance all strike at once. Therefore, Anton Dubrov wasn't revealing her weakness when he disclosed that exchange. He was being human to her. Naturally, though, not everyone shared that perspective. Some supporters demanded that he be dismissed, claiming that a coach should never discuss private conversations. Others commended him for being truthful and making the world aware of the mental struggles that athletes actually face. In any case, it was successful since everyone is discussing about. And as usual, the plot revolves around Sabalenka's feelings. Thus, the media went into full feeding frenzy following Anton Dubrov's tiny truth bomb. Everywhere you looked, headlines appeared. The coach of Sabalenka reveals a breakdown in the locker room. A communication that was leaked reveals Sabalenka's sorrow. Coco Gauff, my favorite, mentally destroyed her. Brutal, but not wholly incorrect. The championship game was repeated by sports networks as if it were a murder scene. Her serve action, footwork, and even facial expressions were all slowed down by analysts. The headline for each clip was the same, losing control. Fans, meanwhile, were evenly divided. Finally, she's being honest, half remarked. Her coach should have kept his mouth shut, stated the other side. To be honest, there was merit to both arguments. Since this wasn't merely a brief discussion about strategies, let's be honest. This was a verbal representation of a full-blown emotional breakdown. Furthermore, disclosing that in public was never going to go down well, regardless of how good Dubrov's intentions were. However, it did highlight something that most people overlook. Sabalenka is a person. She is both amazing and chaotic at the same time since she is loud, fierce, and emotional. Now, immediately following the leak, Aryna became silent. There were no remarks, no interviews, just quiet. Until a week or so later, when she eventually reappeared on Instagram. Every loss teaches you something new, she captioned the photo. Certain lessons are more painful than others. I'm learning to accept what I can't do and manage what I can. With the assistance of a PR staff, it is succinct, composed, and clearly worded. There were remarks everywhere. Some label it phony humility, while others are encouraging. However, at least she made a statement. Coco Gauff's camp, meanwhile, remained silent. They were not required to. After winning in straight sets in Paris, she had already said everything she needed to. The ironic part is that Coco's response revealed every detail about the two players' differences. Coco is a chess player. She makes plans. She adjusts. She maintains her composure. Fire doesn't always know when to cease blazing, and Aryna plays with it. Additionally, Coco was busy securing new sponsorships and preparing for the upcoming slam while Aryna dealt with her alleged image rehabilitation. One is rising, and the other is rebuilding. That's the current WTA narrative. However, let's go back to Dubrov for a moment because he may have unintentionally sparked a more extensive tennis discussion. Journalists and fans have long discussed how women's tennis players face harsher criticism for displaying emotion. A man is referred to as passionate if he breaks a racket. A woman is unstable if she engages in such behavior. Additionally, the entire Sabalenka incident has only fueled the flames. Some claimed that Dubrov's disclosure was unjust since it reinforced that stereotype by depicting a female athlete losing. Others claimed that it demonstrated bravery because even champions face mental pressure and self-control issues. Regardless of your stance, one thing is certain. Fans will be reminded of the meltdown every time Aryna takes the court, so that French Open final will haunt her for a very long time. The cameras get a little closer each time she turns to face Coco. The narrative writes itself. Is she able to restrain herself this time? You can tell that Aryna is aware of it as well. She's been so silent recently because of this. Instead of portraying herself as the player who lost her temper, she is attempting to reconstruct the narrative as the one who gained insight from it. Coco Gauff, on the other hand, is simply going on and grinning like the queen of poise. She